Car back today after the German GP over a week ago. So far today, two new steering servos have been put in, Savox servos, as well as the linkage being modified and the servo saver being modified to work a little bit better. All the cars being disassembled with the front shocks, rear shocks taken off, all cleaned. At the moment, the bearings in the lay shaft were replaced, and my dad's just putting the transmission back together. Tomorrow, the plans are basically to rebuild the shocks. I bent one in the German GP, so that has to be replaced, as well as shock oil being replaced, and basically a general rebuild on the car being done. Our next race is in Craigavon. We're going to treat it more as a test, as we have to test an engine and a couple of other things. After that is a round in England and 2 more races after that. So we'll see how it goes. The rebuild should go successfully, and we'll take it from there.
Just going to show you the operation of the servos, because we originally had a double arm system on the servo, and then we have, if you point there, 2 single arms. One servo does the right and one servo does the left, and before we had a double arm and a linking between the servo, but apparently that's a better way. And I've just wired up all the servos, and you can see the operation of the servo. Now these servos are rated at 20 kilo torque, so they're very, very powerful for steering. We've never used these before, so we'll give them a test, and if they work very well, we're going to put them on the throttle and the brake as well. That's the servo saver. We've had a few problems with the servo saver where the rubber grommet isn't strong enough, so I put about 15 rubber grommets on. It still saves the servos, but it makes it a lot stronger so you don't get the wheel wobble over rough tracks, which we don't have a problem in Craigavon, but we intend going to Womble, and that's a very rough track, so hopefully it'll kill. If you come over here, there's all the bits I have to work on. No major problems, just a clean, check over, make sure nothing's bent on the rear end. That's the rear hubs, they're all okay. Braking system is all okay. We do have a problem with one of the shocks being bent. That was done in Leipzig, that's not a major problem. The biggest problem is the front hub, which as you can see is quite badly damaged with the steering arms bent as well. So we're going to have a complete new front hub, new bearings, new steering arm for the one side. And again with the arm we're going to replace all the plastic joints.
Also, just to note that if you notice with the whole hydraulic brake system and everything like that, it really shows how easy it is to just take it all apart, and it just comes off in one clean sweep.
It's a sealed system. You can do what you like with it, turn it upside down. It's a complete sealed system. You can take off the car and you can put it back on and it will work 100%.
In Leipzig we had to bleed one of the brakes for actually only I think the second time this year, and it was just really so easy to do that it's amazing.
We also have a modification which we're putting on the car, which is a fuel tank extension, because the fuel tank we have here is actually undersized, so we have a little extension piece which gives us an extra 30 millilitres of fuel, which will take us up to the correct amount.
Okay, just a quick update on what has been done so far.
Okay, as you can see, we fitted the extension to the fuel tank and put on the radio tray. All the servos are in and linked up as you saw before. They're all okay. Pipes ready for the engine. I concentrated mainly on the rear end. Put new bearings on the lay shaft. The clutch bell's okay. I put the heavy locking disc back into the diff because we had it as an open diff in the wet. And just basically clean, checked and everything on the rear end. I've got a new 40 gear on the back. I've geared it for Craigavon, which is our next race. And everything is all there, ready. Now the next stage is the front end, and there's a lot of work on the front end because I've got to pair a hub and I've got to check out the front. So far we've got the engine fitted, we've got all the brakes fitted, the rear end, gears ready for Craigavon, locking diff set up, engine is fully mounted, exhaust pipe on. Front brakes, well I repaired all the front hub, new front hub on, brakes fitted, all the steering has been set up, toe out to 122mm from there and there to make it dead equal. New steering arm where it was bent, and all the front suspension again set up. No shock absorbers on yet, no need yet, we've got to rebuild them. Okay, I'll just show you the, make sure the steering servos work.
Always do check after you do each part of the car.
Full steering, leaving about 2 or 3 mil free. And the throttle, we just make sure we got back to 0 and leaving a little bit of extra play so you don't strain the throttle shaft.
That's always essential in any car. Okay, so this is the starting of the engine. This engine is a new engine called K1 engine. It's made by an engine tuner called Kevin in Holland, and we got it after the Euros as we were impressed at it. And we're going to use it for testing and use it in Craigavon and see what it's like for next year.
Okay, well, I've primed the engine, and we're just running with the standard spark plug at the moment. We have to change it, and it should start pretty quickly.
What I noticed is that there's plenty of compression in that engine width, as there should be, but I'm still impressed. Sound of new gears together, always a familiar sound when you put new gears in.
Okay, happy enough with that.
We'll see how it goes up in Craigavon.
And the next spot will be front bumper and shock absorbers, when I'm going to make a few brackets for the front bumper, and we'll get back to you after that.
Yeah, but also we do you do set the car up with no shocks on the car
at the moment
as
the car
well.
is set up. I've had it on the flatbed, and the axle heights have been set together with the toe out on the front. That's all set, so I haven't got to worry about that.
Yeah, because as anyone with an RS5 would know, or if you don't know, that the RS5 uses special setup tools that go underneath the car. And
that's for the rear and that's for the front.
Yep.
Gives you a preset height, and then you measure from the axles.
Yeah, which we've always found very accurate, and it's just like, for example, the FG has a round metal rings that go in the car. So we'll update you afterwards.